Dr. Sella here, and we're going to discuss right now the elements of victory in the triple option offense. So this is where generally I do pretty concrete videos. And this one's going to be a little more abstract. But as I'm grinding away here on the exercise bike here on a Saturday morning, where it's absolutely freezing outside here in right outside of Scranton, Pennsylvania, 7 degrees. It's pretty cold. Yeah, so what's going to happen here is we're going to talk about the elements of victory. This is how you run a high school triple option football program. I'm just going to come right out and say it, how you do it. Here we go. Number one, you take a bunch of kids, you find out who isn't fat, and pretty much you put them on the field. Now, it takes 11 to play football. Some of y'all play 8-man, some of y'all play 9-man, some of y'all are in Canada and play 12-man. I got an academy for all of those. But we'll talk predominantly 11-man right now because we're a week away from the Super Bowl. Go Eagles, by the way. I was a season ticket holder for Eagles for 4 years. Okay. So you're going to take a bunch of kids that aren't fat. How do you know if they're fat? Well, the general test is this. If they're over 200 pounds, they got to be in the 6 foot something range. You want to be able to play 11 skilled players on offense. If you're playing fat kids, it's just going to get you closer to getting you fired. I have said this for decades. This offense, you cannot play fat kids. And I know Air Force had some big guys this year. I know. They're the exception to prove the rule. You need guys that can move. You need a lateral movement. You need guys that can get out of the way. We need them to get out of the way and get in the way. We need them to get in the way. But they got to be able to get out of the way. Can't be fat and get out of the way. Okay, so we've established that. Listen, I'm going to say it again. There is the most important thing I have learned about this offense in the 4 decades I've run it, and I ran it in 3 states at the high school level. And I've been teaching it to clients. I've taught it now in 45 states, multiple Canadian provinces. I've had Division II, III, NAIA, junior college, and prep school clients. The number one thing I have learned about the offense, the element of victory, is do not play fat people. If you want to be sure, don't play anybody over 200 pounds. But, I don't care. Don't play anybody over 200 pounds. But don't care. If you want to be absolutely sure and you want to use overwhelming force, don't play anybody over 200 pounds. Okay, shut up and listen. Next. And I made a video on this yesterday, and this is kind of what triggered this video. You can't run a lot of formations. Yeah, I know you got some heroes on the internet that don't know the difference between a screen pass and a screen porch. They're going to tell you that formations are inexpensive. They are so full of it, I can't even stand it. Look, utilize the flex formation and go from there. If you don't know what the flex formation is, I'm not drawing it up right now because I'm riding on an exercise bike. But the flex formation, also commonly known as double flex, you can find probably 500 videos on this YouTube channel that tell you what it is. It's when you bring the receivers in 3 feet from the tackle. That's the formation because you can do everything out of it. Now, Air Force doesn't run mid-triple out of it most of the time, but you can. And they don't run trap out of it, but you can. But the thing is, you can run everything out of flex. When you split the receivers out wide, that's called spread. You can't really run zone dive out of spread because you need a third guy in the surface to control number 2. And you can't run the down to a 2-man surface. And running rocket to a 2-man surface you need a lot of things to go your way with the pullers and with the width of the toss. There's very little margin of error. With the heavy formation, it's great if they don't adjust, but if they do, the gag is up. So if you want to know what those three formations are, there are so many videos on this YouTube channel that tell you about flex, spread, and heavy. It's crazy. As I said in yesterday's video, when you run the zone dive, the best formation to run it is out of flex. If you run it out of heavy, that's fine too. Zone dive is going to be probably somewhere in the vicinity of 40% of your offense. If you do it right. You can do it wrong, but as I've done the research of the 2022 season, when Air Force won big, in their 5 biggest wins, they ran zone dive 23 times. In their 3 losses, they ran zone dive 11 times. It's no accident. You better make zone dive work. So if you're going to run it that much, yeah, run it out of flex, run it out of heavy. Okay. Alignment. Alignment matters. Getting people aligned correctly matters. Getting people aligned with 3+ foot split matters. Yeah, your kids are going to want to creep in. They do it at the college level, so they're sure as heck going to do it at Podunk High School. So this is why if you teach 3.5 foot splits, you give yourself margin of error. And yeah, I know we're all trying to be precise, but we also don't live in a world of perfection. God won't let you be perfect, and God won't let your kids be perfect. So teach them to get 3.5 foot splits. If they end up at 3, you correct, you create mindfulness. But I'm just telling you, if you ask for 3.5, you're going to get 3. If you get 3.5 all the time, that's because you're one persistent son of a gun. You're like me, who just OCDs people right into the ground. That's what I do. All right, so alignment. So the first element of victory is don't play fat people. If you're not sure what fat is, don't play people over 200 pounds. And number 2, you got to get your people aligned. You got to have 3.5 foot splits. The linemen, they got to make sure they have their dominant hand at the heels of the center. Their stance is narrower than shoulder width, because this offense, there's too much lateral movement. And if you're wide, you're not going to get your feet out of the ground. Nothing drives me nuts more in a stance than when they're too wide. Because you're dealing with a bunch of tight-hip white boys that ain't 200 pounds. They need to be narrow. A-backs are behind the tackles at a depth of a yard. Receivers are 3 feet away. Teach 3.5, you'll be fine. It's okay if they're a little closer. You'll understand when you see the big picture. B-back is in a 3-point stance, narrow base behind the quarterback. His depth is determined by how fast he can get into the ball when the quarterback points the ball. Quarterback's under center. No shotgun stuff here. You want to learn shotgun stuff, go talk to some communists. Go talk to Army. They're a bunch of Democrats now anyway, so you might as well just go listen to them. They're going that route. They want to be shotgunners. So we don't deal with them anymore. We deal with Air Force in this channel. Air Force is going to whoop them for years. They're going to whoop Navy too. You watch. They did last year. They will this year. Air Force is the way to go. By the way, as I'm grinding on the exercise bike, I'm wearing my Air Force hoodie. Go Falcons. All right. So we've established the 2 elements of victory. Don't play fat people and get your people correctly aligned. Number 3, get your people to know where to go. Assignment. Get your people to know where to go. Coaches, you're dealing with Generation Z, and it's 2023. They don't want to do stupid freaking drills. Stop making your kids do these isolated drills so you can feel like you have a big member in your pants. Stop. 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 They don't learn that way in 2023. Their attention span is invaluable. You don't have time to isolate. Generation Z doesn't learn by isolation. But I saw Navy do this. I don't care. You don't have the amount of time that Navy had, because we don't know if they're going to be communists or not. Had. You don't have the time colleges do. You don't have the attention span college athletes have. You got to teach your kids where to go. Look, I coached in a college national championship game a little over 3 years ago at the junior college level at Lackawanna College in Scranton, Pennsylvania. And I coached there for 12 years. I had 3 different stints, but I was there for 12 total years. And I told the coaches over and over and over and over and over and over and over, because I'm the only sports psychologist on the staff, so I'm the brains of the operation. I said, coaches, 80 to 95% of our issues will be solved if the players know where to go. Because they're junior college kids, there's a reason why they're here, and you need to assure that they know where to go. So don't waste your time with stupid drills so you can develop a drill tape so you can use it to get your next job. Teach your players where to go. It's just like in the Bible, in the book of Proverbs, Proverbs 22:7, about teaching children where they should go, and when they get old, they will not depart from it. It's all about getting them from point A to point B. But what about this drill? What about that drill? I don't care. If they don't know where to go, who cares about their technique? Because it doesn't matter. Their technique will suck if they are not sure where to go. They have to be absolutely sure where to go. And you know what? I'll give credit to the wing tee guys out there, the guys that ran the wing tee all those years, because you're down blocking all the time. And you call a play and the kid knew where he was trapping. It's a beautiful thing. And you're starting to see that make a comeback within this offense. But the kids know where to go. And that's so vitally important. So number 3, the kids got to know where to go. Don't you do a freaking drill until your players absolutely positively can coach you on where to go. The winningest coach in the history of college football, who is the most underrated coach in the history of college football, even though he won more games than everybody else, John Gallardi, won 491 games. Never ran an individual drill at practice. But those are college kids. Yeah, they're Division III kids. They're like your kids, a little older. They don't get all this time in the off season, so it's a little different. He never ran an individual drill his entire coaching career, and won more games than anybody else. And yet we pay such little attention to him. He cracked the code on how to coach players. Get them to know how to line up, get them to know where to go. Because if you can do that, solve your problems. You solve your problems. After that, if you get your kids to parallel squat, or now really more so Bulgarian split squat, so they can generate force with their blocking and their running, now you're on your way. So, elements of victory. Number 1, don't play fat people. If you're not sure what fat is, just don't play anybody over 200 pounds. You got to play 11 skill players. Up front, you can play 5 wing tee guards. Whatever. Just don't be fat. Don't be fat. Don't play the fat kid because he's in the weight room all the time. That's the kid who'll get you fired. Because if he was so dominant in the weight room, he wouldn't be fat. Listen, I was a fat kid. I shouldn't have played. I should have spent my time losing weight. Maybe I would have got some girls in high school. And I went to a high school with a bunch of Italian girls. And Italian girls are crazy. Now, that was a long time ago, but regardless. The point I'm trying to make is don't be fat. Don't play fat people. They get you fired. Number 2, get them aligned correctly. It matters so much. And number 3, get them to know where to go. On zone dive, mid-triple, rocket, down, trap, pass pro, routes, quarterbacks, backfield, get them to know where to go. Those are the 3 elements of victory in the triple option offense. If you do what I tell you to do, you will significantly improve your football program in 2023. And if you want to be assured that you're going to win in 2023, you got to pick up the phone and give me a call. I have been helping people win through the Triple Option Football Academy and Triple Option Football Academy camps for the last 14 years. It's no accident. You want to learn more, go to tripleoptionfootball.com and give me a call. Let's set the dates, do the camp, you get the academy with it, and let's start winning big now. So you can be the dominant male at your school, and or you can parlay it to a better job. And you can help your kids and yourself and your coaches achieve their dreams. What are you waiting for, bro? Give me a call. We'll talk soon.